Have you ever noticed how some mornings you wake up feeling stiffer, more tired, or a little slower than usual? Maybe your joints ache just a bit more, or your energy seems to fade faster than it used to. It's easy to chalk that up to just getting older, but what if I told you that it's not really about age? There's one everyday habit many of us have, something so common that it often goes unnoticed, that's quietly speeding up the aging process in your body and mind. It might sound surprising, but this habit is something almost all of us do without thinking, and its effects are more serious than most people realize. What seems like a harmless way to relax or rest can be one of the biggest hidden threats to your health after 65. In this video, we'll gently explore this habit, why it matters so much, and simple, practical ways you can change it, without any drastic lifestyle overhaul. By the end, you'll understand how small shifts in your daily routine can help you feel stronger, more vibrant, and more in control of your health than ever before. Let's take this journey together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. After retiring, daily life begins to settle into a comfortable routine. The fast-paced mornings of getting ready for work, rushing out the door, and juggling responsibilities give way to quieter days at home. You might start your morning in the kitchen, savoring a hot cup of coffee as the sun rises. Maybe you sit by the window and read the morning paper, flipping through the pages and catching up on the latest news. Later, you switch on the TV, watch a favorite show, or knit a few rows of a blanket you've been working on for months. Hours pass peacefully. Sometimes you find yourself scrolling through photos of the grandchildren on your phone or browsing the internet for new recipes to try. The house is calm, and the outside world fades to a distant hum. It feels harmless, even comforting. After decades of working hard, raising a family, and pushing through one busy day after another, you finally have the chance to rest. Why not enjoy it? This is the reward for years of effort. Time to relax and simply be. But here's a question that might turn that comforting scene on its head. What if all this sitting, all this stillness, isn't just a well-earned rest? What if it's doing you harm in ways you can't see, accelerating the aging process in your body and mind? Could something as simple as sitting quietly be quietly robbing you of your vitality? It may sound surprising, but this is a reality backed by science. The idea that rest is always good for older adults is a common belief. Our culture often tells us that after 65, we should take it easy, avoid overexertion, and steer clear of strenuous activity. But what most people don't realize is that sitting for long periods, no matter how relaxing it feels, can speed up the effects of aging more than almost anything else. Let's break it down in simple terms. When you sit for hours at a time, your muscles aren't being used. The legs, which are the foundation of your body's strength and balance, start to weaken. Your circulation slows, making it harder for your heart to pump blood efficiently throughout your body. This raises the risk of blood clots, particularly in the legs, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis, which can be dangerous if left unchecked. But it doesn't stop there. Sitting for long stretches also affects your metabolism. The way your body processes sugar and fat becomes less efficient, which increases the risk of type 2 diabetes and weight gain. Even your bones are impacted. Prolonged inactivity can lead to lower bone density, making fractures more likely if you slip or fall. And then there's the effect on your mind. The brain thrives on movement. Physical activity increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which helps keep your memory sharp and your mood stable. Without it, you might start noticing more senior moments, forgetting names, losing track of conversations, or feeling less motivated and more withdrawn. Over time, this can even accelerate cognitive decline, making it harder to stay independent and engaged with life. Multiple scientific studies in the United States have highlighted these risks. Researchers have found that adults over 65 who sit for more than 8 hours a day are up to 60% more likely to experience premature health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, and early death, compared to those who move regularly. The evidence is clear. Too much sitting is not just a small thing. It's a silent, serious threat to your health and longevity. So what can you do about it? The answer doesn't require a gym membership or a dramatic lifestyle overhaul. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours exercising every day. Simple, Gentle changes to your daily routine can make a world of difference. Start by setting a timer for yourself. Every 30 minutes, stand up and stretch, even if it's just for a minute or two. Walk around the living room, march in place, or step outside and take a few breaths of fresh air. If you're watching TV, make it a rule to stand up and move around during every commercial break. Keep a light hand weight by your favorite chair and do a few gentle arm curls or shoulder rolls while you watch the news. The key is to break up long periods of sitting with brief moments of movement. Try incorporating small changes into activities you already enjoy. If you love knitting, stand up and stretch your arms and legs every time you finish a row. If you're reading, use the end of each chapter as a cue to get up and refill your glass of water or check the mailbox. When you talk on the phone with family or friends, stand or walk as you chat, rather than staying seated. Let me share a quick story about someone who made this change. Bill, a retired postal worker from Ohio, found himself spending nearly all day in his recliner after retiring. At first, he relished the relaxation, but over time, he noticed his legs felt weaker, and he struggled to keep his balance when standing up. A routine doctor's visit revealed his blood pressure had risen, and he'd put on extra weight. His doctor gently suggested that Bill try standing and moving more throughout the day. At first, Bill was skeptical. How much could walking around the house help? He wondered. But he gave it a try. He set his alarm to chime every half hour. When it rang, he'd get up, walk around the house, and stretch for a few minutes. He started standing while talking to his wife or checking the weather on TV. After a few weeks, Bill was surprised by how much better he felt. His energy returned, his legs grew stronger, and even his mood improved. 6 months later, he'd lost weight, lowered his blood pressure, and felt confident enough to join his neighborhood walking group. Bill's story is proof that small, steady changes can lead to big results. It's important to remember that your body doesn't need perfection. It just needs movement. Even if you start small, every step counts. Standing up more often, stretching, and walking a little each day helps keep your heart strong, your muscles active, and your mind sharp. You're not just adding days to your life. You're adding life to your days. So, the next time you find yourself sitting for hours, remember, you have the power to change your future, one step at a time. Your journey to better health and renewed vitality starts with something as simple as standing up. You've worked hard to get to this chapter in your life. Don't let a chair steal away your strength. Take that first step, and let every day bring you more energy, more confidence, and more joy. For most of our lives, we're taught that rest is something to be cherished, especially as we get older. You work hard for decades, juggling jobs, caring for your family, supporting your community, and keeping up with everything life throws your way. Retirement is supposed to be your well-earned time to slow down, relax, and enjoy some peace. Friends and family tell you, you deserve to take it easy. Don't push yourself. Doctors often remind you to avoid overexertion and to protect your joints, your heart, and your back. So, when you wake up and find that your day is suddenly less busy, it feels natural to embrace this idea of rest. After all, isn't relaxation supposed to be good for you? It seems like common sense. You might hear it on television, see it in magazines, or listen to your children say, "Just relax, Dad. Enjoy your retirement." There's even a kind of social approval attached to being at ease. Resting is seen as a gentle, almost noble reward for a lifetime of effort. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But here's something that might surprise you. What if the very thing you believe is helping you age gracefully is speeding up the process? What if all this well-intentioned rest is doing you more harm than good? You see, there's a big difference between rest and inactivity. Rest is when you give your body a break after a long walk, a day of gardening, or a morning spent tidying the house. Your muscles unwind, your mind recharges, and you feel refreshed. Inactivity, though, is a different story. Inactivity means spending long, uninterrupted periods sitting, on the sofa, at the kitchen table, in front of the TV, without moving your body, even in small ways. And as comforting as it may seem, this kind of rest isn't restful at all for your body's core systems. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you spent a whole afternoon watching TV, only to stand up and realize your back was stiff, your legs felt heavy, or your mind was foggy? Maybe you even felt a little low on energy or noticed it took a few steps before your balance returned. These small signals from your body are easy to dismiss. You might blame it on age or even the weather. But more often than not, what you're experiencing isn't just a symptom of getting older. It's your body's way of telling you that it needs to move. For generations, the wisdom passed down was to rest more as we age. But modern science is challenging this advice, showing us that being too still for too long can set off a chain reaction of problems. When you sit for hours, your circulation slows, your muscles weaken, and your metabolism becomes sluggish. The calories you eat are more likely to be stored as fat rather than burned for energy. Your bones aren't stressed enough to stay strong. Even your brain misses out. Movement helps deliver more oxygen and nutrients, keeping you sharp and focused. And let's be honest, for many of us, inactivity isn't just about relaxation. Sometimes, it's a habit that sneaks up on us. It starts with a single day of taking it easy, which turns into a week, then a month until the body simply gets used to doing less. Soon, getting up feels harder. The walks around the block get shorter and stop altogether. Activities you once enjoyed, gardening, volunteering, meeting friends, seem more tiring. The more you rest, the more your world shrinks. But it doesn't have to be this way. Challenging the old assumption about rest is the first, most powerful step toward a healthier, happier future. There's a beautiful paradox in aging. While your body needs moments of genuine rest, it also needs gentle, regular movement to thrive. The key is to find a balance that works for you. One that honors your need for relaxation but keeps your muscles, heart, and mind engaged. Let me share a story. There's a woman named Margaret from Wisconsin. Margaret spent years caring for her children and later, her grandchildren. She always looked forward to the day when she could finally slow down and spend long afternoons reading or working on her beloved crossword puzzles. For a while, she relished those quiet hours. But after several months, Margaret noticed that simple tasks, like climbing the stairs or carrying groceries, left her winded. Her legs felt weaker, and she needed more help getting out of chairs. Her doctor asked about her activity levels, and Margaret was surprised to realize just how many hours she was spending sitting every day. The advice she got wasn't to stop resting altogether, but to build in small moments of movement. Margaret started setting a timer to stand up and stretch every 30 minutes. She made it a point to walk down her driveway to get the mail instead of asking her husband to do it. She even started marching in place during commercial breaks. Little by little, she noticed changes. Her legs felt steadier, she had more energy, and even her sleep improved. Margaret's story is a reminder that the best kind of rest is the kind that follows gentle movement. Activity doesn't have to mean strenuous exercise. It can be as simple as standing, stretching, walking, or doing household chores. What matters most is breaking up long stretches of stillness with short bursts of movement. So next time you hear someone say, "Take it easy," remember, real rest comes from a healthy rhythm of activity and relaxation. If you find yourself sitting for hours, give your body what it truly needs: movement. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel, both inside and out. You've earned this stage of life, but you also deserve to feel strong, vibrant, and engaged. Rest, yes, but don't let inactivity steal your spark. Choose small movements, embrace gentle challenges, and watch how your world expands with every step you take. Your body, your heart, and your spirit will thank you for it. You might be surprised to learn that something as ordinary as sitting too long each day can quietly work against your health in ways you'd never expect. On the surface, sitting feels safe and restful, especially after a lifetime of busyness and responsibility. But inside your body, hours spent in a chair can set off a silent storm of changes, many of which go unnoticed until they begin to show up in your daily life. When you spend long stretches sitting, whether in your favorite recliner, at the kitchen table, or watching television, your blood circulation naturally slows down. The heart doesn't have to work as hard, and blood tends to pool in the lower parts of your body, especially in your legs. Over time, this sluggish circulation can raise your risk of developing blood clots. For older adults, that's a danger not to be taken lightly. Blood clots in the legs can sometimes travel to the lungs, causing serious complications that require urgent care. And all this can begin with hours of stillness that seem, at first, completely harmless. But there's more happening beneath the surface. Our muscles are made to move, especially the muscles in your legs, which are the real powerhouses of the body as you age. Each time you stand, walk, or even just shift your weight, your muscles activate and grow stronger. But when you sit for much of the day, those same muscles begin to weaken and shrink. The legs are truly the foundation of strength and balance, and once they lose power, you might notice it's harder to get up from a chair, climb stairs, or even catch yourself from a stumble. It's not just about muscle, either. Your bones rely on movement to stay strong, and without it, they can gradually lose density, putting you at higher risk for fractures. Sitting for hours doesn't just affect your muscles and bones. It can also quietly disrupt your metabolism, the way your body processes food for energy. When you're inactive, your cells don't respond as well to insulin, the hormone that helps manage your blood sugar. This is known as insulin resistance, and over time, it can lead to type 2 diabetes, a condition that's becoming more common among older adults. You may have heard friends mention struggles with blood sugar or diabetes medications, and you might be surprised to learn that something as simple as moving more often can make a world of difference in keeping those numbers in check. And then, there's the impact on your mind. The brain is hungry for oxygen and nutrients, both of which get delivered through the steady flow of blood. When you're sedentary, less oxygen-rich blood reaches your brain. At first, the changes might be subtle. Maybe a little forgetfulness, or more trouble focusing on a book or conversation. But over months and years, lack of movement can speed up cognitive decline, making it harder to stay sharp, engaged, and independent. It may sound dramatic, but this isn't just theory. Across the United States, large studies have followed adults over time and found that those who spend more than 8 hours a day sitting have up to a 60% higher risk of dying early from all causes, compared to those who move more frequently. That's a sobering number, and it means that, while sitting feels safe, it can be one of the most underestimated risks to your health in later life. The good news is that science has also shown us how quickly the body can respond when you break up long periods of sitting with gentle movement. Even just standing and stretching every half hour helps keep your blood flowing, your muscles engaged, your metabolism steady, and your mind alert. It's a simple, everyday way to protect your health. No gym memberships or intense workouts are required. All it takes is the decision to stand up and move, one small step at a time. So, if sitting too long is quietly working against your health, what can you do about it? Especially if you're not a fan of exercise or the idea of drastic changes. The answer is refreshingly simple. You don't have to overhaul your entire day or suddenly become a fitness enthusiast. Just a few small changes in your daily rhythm can make a real difference. Start with something as easy as setting a gentle reminder for yourself. Place a timer or an alarm on your phone, your kitchen clock, or even an old-fashioned egg timer, so that every 30 minutes or so, you hear a soft chime. When you hear it, that's your cue to stand up and move for a couple of minutes. Maybe you walk slowly around the living room, head over to the window to look outside, or march in place. It doesn't have to be fast or fancy. The goal is simply to break up those long, still stretches with a bit of movement, just enough to get your blood flowing and your muscles working again. If you enjoy watching television, use the commercial breaks as natural opportunities to move. When the ads come on, stand up and walk around the room, do a few gentle stretches, or try touching your toes. Even these short bursts of movement can help. If commercials aren't frequent, get in the habit of standing up every time an episode ends, or even just once or twice in the middle. You might be surprised at how much better your body feels, and over time, how your energy starts to return. And think about all those little pauses in your day, like waiting for the kettle to boil, your tea to steep, or the microwave to beep. Those moments are perfect for a quick stretch or a few easy movements. While you wait, try standing tall and lifting your knees one at a time, gently swinging your arms, or slowly rolling your shoulders back and forth. If you're on the phone, stand up and walk around as you talk. It's a great way to sneak in a bit more movement without even noticing. You can even make small changes to your surroundings to encourage yourself. For instance, keep a small, sturdy stool or chair in the kitchen. Whenever you're waiting for water to heat or toast to pop up, place your hands on the counter or the back of a chair and do a few slow, supported squats. Nothing too deep or strenuous, just enough to get your legs involved. If squats aren't for you, simply rise onto your toes and back down a few times. These little movement snacks add up throughout the day and every bit counts. The key is not to think of these moments as exercise, but simply as a way of giving your body what it needs. Movement, variety, and a chance to wake up a little from the inside out. Remember, You don't have to push yourself hard or aim for perfection. The smallest step is still a step in the right direction. And if you ever feel silly or unsure, just remind yourself, you're doing something powerful for your health, right in the comfort of your own home. Every time you stand up, stretch, or move, you're saying yes to stronger legs, a sharper mind, and a healthier heart. Over time, these small acts become habits, and habits become a new, better way of living. Little by little, you'll notice changes. A bit more pep in your step, less stiffness when you get up in the morning, and maybe even a brighter mood. It's all about choosing gentle, easy steps that fit into your daily life, and letting those steps carry you toward greater vitality. Because you deserve to feel strong, steady, and fully alive every single day. After decades of waking up before sunrise, and braving cold mornings to deliver mail in every kind of weather, Bill finally entered retirement at the age of 72. He had always imagined this chapter of life would be one long, peaceful exhale, a chance to rest, spend more time with his wife, and enjoy a slower pace. The first few weeks felt almost like a vacation. Bill would pour himself a steaming mug of coffee, settle into his favorite spot on the living room couch, and catch up on the morning news. Sometimes, he'd flip through old family photo albums, letting memories from years gone by wash over him like warm sunlight. It was easy to fill the hours. Bill watched his beloved Red Sox, tried his hand at crossword puzzles, and chatted with neighbors when they dropped by. He'd always promised himself he'd get back to reading Western novels, and now he had all the time in the world. If he felt a little stiff getting up, or if the afternoon seemed to slip away faster than it used to, he just shrugged it off. After all, wasn't this what retirement was for? To finally slow down and take it easy? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But as the months passed, a few small changes crept in, so quietly that Bill barely noticed at first. His favorite jeans felt tighter around the waist. The numbers on the bathroom scale inched higher. When his grandchildren came to visit, he found himself out of breath more quickly than before, needing to sit down after a trip to the park or a simple game of catch in the backyard. Climbing stairs started to feel like climbing a small mountain, and sometimes, when he stood up too quickly, he felt a wobbly weakness in his legs that unsettled him. Still, Bill chalked it all up to getting older. It's just part of the deal, he told himself, echoing the words he'd heard from friends and doctors alike. Everyone slows down after 70. He didn't realize that the hours spent sitting, on the couch, at the dining table, in front of the television, were adding up. Sometimes, a whole afternoon would pass with barely 100 steps to show for it. One day, during a routine checkup, Bill's doctor noticed his blood pressure had risen. He listened carefully as Bill described his daily routine, and then gently asked, "How much time do you spend sitting each day, Bill?" Bill hesitated, then admitted, "I suppose, most of it." The doctor didn't lecture or scold. Instead, he explained something that shifted Bill's perspective. Rest is important, especially after a lifetime of hard work. But our bodies aren't built for stillness. Too much time sitting, even if it feels comfortable, can be one of the most harmful things for your heart, your muscles, and even your mind. Bill left the clinic feeling unsettled, but also a bit curious. Was it possible that something as simple as sitting could be making him feel older than he was? Could there be a connection between his fatigue, his weight gain, and all those hours on the couch? That night, Bill thought back to a time when he was always on the move. Walking his mail route kept his legs strong and his mind sharp. Even in bad weather, he'd never dreamed of sitting still for more than a few minutes at a time. Had he changed so much, just because he was retired? Determined to make a change, but wary of anything too extreme, Bill decided to try something new. He set gentle alarms on his phone to remind himself to get up every half hour, even if only for a few minutes. When the timer chimed, he'd stand and stretch his arms overhead, walk a slow lap around the kitchen, or even step out onto the porch for a breath of fresh air. It felt strange at first, almost forced. But he kept at it, day after day. He made small deals with himself. If he wanted to watch the news, he would march in place or do some light stretches during commercial breaks. While his tea was brewing, he'd do a few gentle squats, holding onto the counter for support. When the weather was good, he'd walk down the block and back, waving at neighbors and taking in the sounds of the neighborhood he'd served for so many years. On the phone with his son, he'd stand and pace instead of sitting. It wasn't a miracle cure, and there were days when Bill was tempted to skip his little routines. But slowly, he started to notice changes. His legs felt steadier beneath him, and he could stand up from the couch without bracing himself on the armrest. He found himself less out of breath after simple activities. Even his sleep improved. He fell asleep faster and woke up feeling a bit more refreshed. After 6 months, Bill's wife pointed out something he hadn't noticed. His mood was brighter, and his energy was coming back. At his next checkup, his doctor smiled as he read the new numbers. Bill's blood pressure was lower, and his weight had inched back down. "Whatever you're doing, keep it up," the doctor said. But perhaps the biggest victory came on a sunny Saturday morning when Bill ran into his old friend Frank from the neighborhood walking group at the grocery store. "Haven't seen you in a while," Frank said. "We're still meeting at the park every Tuesday, you know." For the first time in over a year, Bill felt a flicker of excitement at the thought of joining in. "Maybe I will," he replied. The following week, Bill laced up his sneakers, feeling both nervous and hopeful. The group welcomed him back with open arms. He walked slower than he used to, but it didn't matter. With every step, he felt a sense of accomplishment, a small victory over the inertia that had quietly crept into his life. The laughter, the stories, the feeling of belonging, they all reminded Bill how much he'd missed being part of the world outside his living room. Looking back, Bill realized that he'd spent a long time accepting a version of rest that didn't serve him. It wasn't just about being on the move. It was about choosing life every single day in the small moments that add up to something big. Standing up and walking, stretching and moving, even just for a minute or two at a time, became not only a habit, but a way of reclaiming his strength, his independence, and his joy. Bill's story is a gentle reminder to all of us. The habits that seem harmless can sometimes be the ones holding us back the most. Sitting for long stretches, though it feels easy and familiar, can quietly steal away our vitality, one day at a time. But the path back to strength and energy is simpler than we think. We don't need to join a gym or commit to hours of exercise. We only need to start where we are, with the body and the time we have, and take that first step, literally. So if you find yourself spending most days in your favorite chair, wondering why you feel tired, stiff, or just a little bit older than you'd like, remember Bill. Remember that the smallest changes, a walk to the mailbox, a few stretches during commercials, standing while talking on the phone, can open up a whole new chapter of energy, connection, and hope. You've earned your rest, but you've also earned the chance to feel alive, strong, and engaged, no matter your age. Don't let stillness become your story. Let movement, no matter how gentle, be your way of saying yes to life again and again. Have you ever caught yourself sitting in your favorite chair, perhaps with a book in your lap or the television humming in the background, only to realize an entire afternoon has slipped by? You look up, surprised at how quickly the hours have passed, and maybe your legs feel a little stiffer, your back aches a bit more, and you wonder if this is just what getting older feels like. It's such a familiar scene for so many people in their retirement years. Time feels both abundant and elusive. You finally have room in your life to slow down, but sometimes that slowing down seems to sneak up on your body in ways you hadn't expected. The world tells us, often with the best intentions, that after 65 it's natural to slow down. Your family might encourage you to rest, to take it easy, especially if they notice you're moving a little more slowly or wincing when you stand up. And maybe you've come to accept the idea yourself, that feeling tired, weak, or unsteady is simply an unavoidable part of growing older. But is it? Is age the true culprit, or is there something else at play? Let's ask the question that so few people do. What if the aches, the fatigue, and the loss of strength so often blamed on aging are, at least in part, the result of something much more ordinary, something you have the power to change? What if it isn't the passing years themselves that are weighing you down, but rather the habit of stillness that so easily fills your days? It might sound surprising, but scientists and doctors across the country have been rethinking what getting older really means. Over and over, research shows that it's not age alone that causes bodies to stiffen and energy to fade. It's inactivity. Our muscles are built for movement. Our joints crave regular stretching and gentle use. Our hearts and brains rely on steady, healthy circulation that only comes with getting up and moving throughout the day. When we stop using our bodies, even just for a few hours at a time, changes start to happen beneath the surface. The science behind it is both simple and profound. Every time you move, whether it's standing up to pour a glass of water, walking out to get the mail, or stretching your arms overhead as you wake up, You're sending signals to your muscles, bones, and organs to stay active, strong, and alert. Movement helps your heart pump blood more efficiently, lowering your risk of high blood pressure and heart disease. Gentle activity keeps your muscles from weakening and shrinking, making it easier to get up from a chair, climb the stairs, or catch your balance if you trip. And don't forget your mind. Physical movement boosts blood flow to your brain, sharpening memory, focus, and even your mood. The truth is that inactivity has a way of quietly robbing you of your independence, your joy, and your confidence. It can feel like aging is taking things away from you when in reality, it's the habit of sitting still that is so often to blame. The longer you stay inactive, the harder it becomes to break free. But the beautiful part is, you're never truly stuck. So, what can you do if you've found yourself slowing down more than you'd like? The answer isn't a grueling exercise regimen or a total life overhaul. It's far gentler, and it begins with a single decision: to move, little by little, every day. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Try this simple experiment. The next time you catch yourself sitting for more than half an hour, make a promise to yourself. Stand up. Walk to the kitchen and refill your water glass. Take a slow lap around your living room. Stretch your arms over your head, roll your shoulders back, or just pace by the window for a few minutes. If you're watching television, use the commercial breaks as natural reminders to get up and move around. While you're waiting for your coffee to brew or your soup to heat, march in place or lift your knees a few times. These aren't workouts. They're tiny gifts of movement you can give yourself throughout the day. They break the cycle of stillness and gently nudge your body back to life. The more often you choose to stand, stretch, or walk, the easier it becomes. Your joints will feel less stiff, your muscles will grow stronger, and even your outlook may start to brighten. Let me tell you about a woman named Helen, who, at 74, found herself struggling with just these issues. After losing her husband, Helen retreated into a quieter life. She spent many afternoons reading in her favorite chair, rarely leaving her apartment except for groceries or an occasional phone call with her daughter. Over time, she noticed her legs feeling weaker, her energy fading, and her spirits dropping. A visit to her doctor brought a gentle, hopeful piece of advice. "Helen, you don't need to join a gym. You just need to move more throughout the day. Try standing every half hour, and take short walks when you can." Helen was skeptical, but she decided to give it a try. She set a kitchen timer to chime every 30 minutes. She used those reminders to stand up, do a little stretch, or simply walk to the balcony to look at the garden below. When the weather was nice, she'd walk down the hallway and back, or make an extra trip to the mailbox. The change wasn't immediate, but it was real. Within a few months, Helen noticed she could climb the stairs without feeling breathless, and her mood had lifted. She even started meeting a neighbor for short walks in the courtyard. For Helen, the difference wasn't dramatic, but it was everything. She felt herself coming back to life, bit by bit, with every step she took. You see, your body doesn't need a total overhaul. It just needs you to stand up, little by little, every day. Even the tiniest bit of movement is a declaration that you're still in charge of your well-being. It's not age that's slowing you down. It's inactivity. And the best part? You can take back control, starting right now. If you choose today to take just a few steps, you're already turning the clock back in ways that matter most. You're investing in your ability to live independently, enjoy time with friends and family, and greet each new day with a little more energy and hope. It's never about perfection or doing everything at once. It's about progress, no matter how small. So, as you listen to this, I invite you to join me. Stand up, stretch, and let yourself feel what it means to move. Celebrate each step, each moment of movement, as a gift to yourself. Let your story be one of resilience, hope, and quiet strength. Because you deserve to feel strong, capable, and truly alive. Not just to count the years, but to make each year count. And it all starts, simply, with standing up, one step, one day at a time. As we come to the end of this video, I hope you're feeling a renewed sense of possibility. Because growing older doesn't mean you have to surrender your energy, your independence, or your joy. The truth is, you have more power than you may realize to shape how you feel each day. It's not about doing everything perfectly or turning your life upside down. It's about recognizing the small choices that truly matter, like choosing to stand up, to move a little more, and to break free from the grip of stillness. Remember, it's not your age that slows you down, but often the habit of inactivity. And the beautiful thing is, this is something you can change, starting right now. Every time you decide to get up from your chair, stretch your arms, or take a few steps, you are taking back control over your health and your happiness. You are sending a message to your body and your spirit that you are still active, still vibrant, and still determined to make the most of every single day. You don't need to be perfect. Progress is what counts, and every movement, no matter how small, is a victory. So, let this be your encouragement. Stand up for yourself, literally and figuratively. Move with purpose, embrace each day, and know that it's never too late to start anew. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments one thing you learned or plan to do differently. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiration and support. Together, we can make these years the best years yet.